Oh yeah, it's like I can't see us live on here. Oh, there's our 30
Okay, yeah,
seconds.
Hey everyone!
Hey everybody!
Welcome to Sermon Break.
Yep.
We are so excited to be here with you live today.
Yes.
On set, and we are just so excited that we get a little bit of interaction today. We get to see all of you in the comments. My name is Kristen Finch, if this is your first time joining us today.
And I'm Felicia.
And we just want to take this time to really build our faith throughout the week. This is a new segment that we're starting. We've been doing it for a while, but never live.
Never live. And this is my first time actually ever going live.
Okay.
I realized just now, in this moment, this is my first time going live, so this is cool.
We used to go live a lot kind of during the pandemic, but it was something we kind of stopped a little bit, pivoted a little bit, and now we're trying it again because we really just want to really be building our online community. We know a lot of you have been back to church, but a lot of you live pretty far away from our Mississauga campus. So we just really want this to be a place where we can connect. So right now, if you're tuning in with us, could you please put it in the chat?
Put it in the chat where you're tuning in from. I can see, hi Cami, hi Harrison. I know some people are saying that they're super excited about this opportunity for Sermon Break. I'm super excited about it as well. I think it's just going to be a great time for us to hang out and chat.
So put it in where you're tuning in from, what city are you in, and let us know. We want to shout some out. We are, while your comments are coming in, we are sitting on the stage of our Mississauga location. And we have another location out in Whitby that we go to once a month at 300 Water Street. And that's another opportunity for you to come out once a month if you live on the east side of the city. But yeah, where are some people tuning in from?
Well, I know Akash is actually here with us on the campus somewhere, so that's where he's tuning in from. Harrison said, this is definitely helping me fill up from God on my lunch break. So that's what our hope is, for you guys to just take this time to really fill up and really digest the sermon.
Yes. Well, let's dive in a little bit. Let's do another little icebreaker. I loved when Pastor was talking about how we're all a little crazy.
Yes. We are all a little crazy.
We're all a little crazy. We all have a little crazy inside of us. Nobody is, no one is exempt from the craziness. So put it in the chat if you're comfortable. What is something that you are a little crazy about?
So
Go ahead, Felicia. You start us off.
I was telling Kristen this earlier. My little crazy thing kind of happened this weekend. So I actually sold a bunch of my stuff because I felt on Friday that God was really just asking me to make a prayer closet. And my closet was full of a TV and clothes that I don't wear. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just sell it and make room. And I did.
Make room. Start fresh.
Start fresh.
It feels really good to have a clean closet. Okay, put it in the chat if you actually find some joy in cleaning out your closet. Because I feel like I have a lot of joy when it's like everything's all organized. You can see everything. You know what you have. You know what you're wearing. So if you're with me, put it in the chat too.
Yeah, I know Tanya says I am crazy. So Kristen, what's your thing that you're crazy about?
There's a lot of things that I could be pulling up on, but there was a kind of one funny one that we were talking about this morning, is that when I was probably, 20, I took this job. I was working in a daycare, and I was leaving really late at night one night. It was pretty dark in this parking lot, and I actually backed into a Porsche.
Oh my goodness.
Like a black Porsche, like a really, really nice car. And honestly, since this day, I'm not able to reverse. Like, I have a lot of worry, and I don't know. I can't reverse. You've been in the car with me. You've been a testament. You never knew what the underground issue was and why I can't reverse park. So I don't know. That's a little crazy thing about me. I get a lot of, something about the car. And the car was there for a week later.
I was
going to look at the car.
That's the worst part. That is definitely the worst part. Also, Charlotte says that she was cleaning out her closet last night.
Okay.
That's good to know, Charlotte. And Tanya also says, I am crazy about my cushions on my sofa being set up perfectly, but I have 3 boys. So I can definitely say I've been to Tanya's house, and her cushions always, every time I get in there, they're perfectly organized.
Yeah, I can see that, Tanya. I feel like you're like really organized. You're really on top of stuff. So and I feel like that's a good thing to be crazy about. Steven would be totally on your side. I feel like he like fluffs our cushions all the time and like tries to make them look, I don't know, nicer or something.
And he actually just said in the chat, Pastor Steven said, I find joy in everything being clean and organized.
Yes, he does. So
that's awesome. Well, we are going to check out this sermon clip, and then we'll get into the discussion.
I expect God to direct me. You say, well, he's God. How can you tell him what to do? No, that's what he told me he wanted to do for me. So I expect God to direct me. When I'm getting ready to preach, I expect God to lead me to the passage he wants me to preach. I don't come to this Bible thinking I've got it figured out, and I don't come to the passage thinking that I know what it means. I expect God to direct me. Everybody say, I expect God to direct me.
So good.
That was so good.
Honestly, there was something different about this message this past week.
There
I feel
was.
like it really hit me. It was really, really for me.
It really was for me too. I watched it twice Sunday morning, and both times I was like, I just can't write down enough notes. But I love that part that Pastor was sharing about, I expect God to direct me in my relationships, who gets in and who gets out, which I think is crucial.
I think that was key though, because I feel like so many times we think like, God, like we pray for these people to come into our lives and we finally get them. But then so many times when they exit, sometimes we think it isn't God, or we think like we did something wrong, or the devil broke us up, or everything's against us. But sometimes God really is in the exit, and he really does like move people out of your life for a reason. If maybe you've outgrown them, or you're going into a different season, or he has something that somebody else needs to teach you that they can't. So I love that.
I love that too. And Pastor actually was saying, do we give the devil credit for the shepherd's direction?
Yes.
And that's just what you were saying. Sometimes we give the enemy credit for what God's actually trying to correct us in it and do for us. So,
well, put it in the chat, any part of the message that really stood out to you. List your sermon takeaway below, because there's so many different things, and we wanna hear from you. We hope that little clip kind of springboarded you into the next thing. So put it down below, and as kind of they're coming in, if you wanna shout some out. For me, it was, I have my notes here, and it says, when someone who corrects you, it becomes an investment. And I think, I don't know about you, but I know for me, sometimes correction can be hard. We don't want to hear correction. Like even Pastor was saying, like we want to be led, but only when we want to be led by our own expectation, by our own means. But sometimes when people do correct you, like you have to understand that it is coming from love. And I was thinking about my relationship with my husband, Steven, and I feel like so many times, like he says he likes things really organized. This is like a simple example, but like he's had to correct me a lot because I am not naturally as organized as he is. And sometimes he'll say things to me that, if I'm honest, can get on my nerves sometimes, and I can like take at him as like attacking me, right? And I put my defense on. I'm ready to say something back about why I don't need to do it that way. But what I've really learned over time, and we've only been married 4 years. So Tanya, I know you've been married a little bit longer than me, so maybe you can speak into this. But I feel like I've learned that like when he is correcting me, like it really is coming from a place of love. And I need to recognize his heart. And even if like the tone doesn't come off exactly the way that I want, I know that it is coming from a place where he wants what's best for me. He wants what's best for our family. And that doesn't always feel comfortable. It might not be my preference, but really learning how to work as a team and really be united. And I think that works with our relationship with God too, right? Not thinking that he's against us, but he's for us. He's on our team. He wants the best for us. And I think this even translate like to even a parent. Like I can think about times where I've had the same discussion with my mom, or maybe you're a youth right now and there's some youth watching right now. Shout out to Harrison, our youth director too. I know you have all the connections with youth, but like it could be a teacher that speaks into you, and they are really trying to invest in you because they love you and they want what's best. I don't know if you have an example you want to share.
So someone that I feel like God speaks through a lot into my life is Kristen. And we've had conversations that maybe were difficult or hard conversations, but like Pastor was saying, like the shepherd, it's not always comfortable for the sheep when they're being led by the staff. And so I just think about conversations that we've had, and it may not be comfortable, but it is an investment, and it's coming from a place of love. And Tanya was saying her favorite point was that she expected God to heal her, and he did.
Right,
and
that's good.
And we're so grateful for that, Tanya. We're so grateful for you and all that you do. But I really love that point as well. Akash was saying, what are you two expecting God to direct you in this season? What are you expecting, or where do you feel like God's going to direct you in this season?
I think just for opportunities and like learning what to say yes to and what to say no to in this season, and like figuring out, like, I'm really believing that God is going to place opportunities in my life, and he's really going to give me the discernment of what I need to do.
Yeah.
And some of the opportunities might be good ones, and some of them might not be so good. And I have to really trust that he is going to lead me, and maybe things are not going to be my preference to go down that route, and it's going to be hard, but really believing he's not going to lead me through a desert. There's going to be green grass. He's going to lay me down when I need to lay down, and he's going to be with me. Yeah,
I think the part where I was saying the people that get out, the people that are let out, I'm really just expecting that God's going to handle that, and I don't need to worry too much about that. Io said correction is hard, but it is necessary.
Yes.
And it is. We need correction. If we just did all that we wanted, and Pastor was saying, if your trainer, you got to the gym and your personal trainer was like, you know what, I don't want to do reps either. I don't want to count your reps either. Like, they wouldn't be a good trainer. And that's the same thing with God. He would not be a good God and a good father if he wasn't correcting us along the way.
Honestly, I feel like, and we've said this in sermons before, like, we don't need more stuff. We don't need another like new diet plan or new exercise plan. What we really need is like accountability. And like, we need people in our corner that are going to tell us when things aren't going right. They're going to challenge us, and they're going to try to bring out the best version of ourselves. So many times we don't see ourselves the way that God does. We see ourselves differently, and sometimes other people, and I feel like Felicia's done this for me all the time, she calls out different things she sees in me that I don't see. And you need that. You need people who can really speak into you and help you to grow, even if it's not always what you want to hear.
Yes.
So
I love, Charlotte brought up the point, letting the shepherd in a like and subscribe culture.
Yes. And let's talk about that.
We were talking about that earlier. It's so hard to really let God lead you when everything around you, all your friends, all the people in the world are like following this like and subscribe culture. We're doing things for the likes. We're doing things that people even subscribe to what we're doing in life, versus like really letting God lead the way and being led by the Spirit.
Yeah. I think also it's not like, it's learning how to not want it, right? Like he was even saying, like, I shall not want.
Yeah.
It's really learning how to take that like pride or people pleasing almost out of us, and really just believe that God is going to fulfill our needs, and we don't need people to you don't need people to continuously validate the things that we do, because we know we already are validated in Christ. There's honestly nothing that we can do that can make him love us more or make his promises come to pass quicker. There's literally nothing. So that was good, because if I'm honest, like, I fall into that all the time.
Me too.
I want to make people happy. I want to show up for everybody. I want people to, like, we all want to be liked, right? We all want to, but it's really learning where our validation comes, and really being mindful of who you're letting validate you.
Yeah, I know Chrissy was saying in the chat, what we need is accountability. And I feel like, especially when we're living in a world that's based upon like and subscriptions, it really is important that you surround yourself with those people that can really hold you accountable. I know for me, like, Kristen's that person, but also my e-group, not the e-group that I lead necessarily, but the e-group that I'm in, just being around women that are a little bit further on their walk than I am, or a little bit wiser in what they're doing than I am, letting them hold me accountable and being open to that correction is super important too.
I think that's good. I think one other thing I want to talk about is this whole idea, how we talked about, it's like the flesh and the spirit, and how, like, all of us have both in us.
Yes.
and really understanding like what God started in the spirit, you can't finish in the flesh.
Yes.
Like, it's like when you're praying for something, God comes through, and then you're like, okay, God, I got it from here.
Yep.
And sometimes I felt myself doing that in times of my life where it's like, okay, God, like I've gotten this far, like these things are going great, and now like I kind of got it, and I don't pray as much, or I'm not worshiping as much. And I found whenever I do that, it just doesn't work.
It doesn't
like
work.
You need, even on those mountaintop moments, like you have to have God with you the whole time. Because that's maybe when pride sticks in, and you really think like, okay, I got this. God, like, don't worry, like I'm good. But like, no, we need him through the good times and the hard times too.
Yeah, I think too, it's really easy to get wrapped up in the blessing.
Yeah.
So you're praying for it and you're asking God for it, and then you get the blessing and you're so wrapped up in it. It could be a job, or it could be a relationship, that you start to lose the kind of discipline that you had with your prayer life, or the quiet times that you were really just like on your knees asking God for that thing.
Yeah.
So being really, really mindful that it's easy to get wrapped up in a blessing, but making sure that you bring God with you throughout.
I was just looking through my notes there because I really liked kind of how he even ended it. Like, you're still the shepherd, right?
Yes.
And how like David like really recognized where he came from and kind of like repented to God. And I feel like I never want to forget like where I started.
Yes.
Like for me, and some of you know this, like when I walked through the doors of Elevation Church, like I was a completely different person. Like I was very far from God. And like I remember how desperate I was on that first day. Like I remember hearing the worship, I remember hearing the message, and I just went in my car and I bawled my eyes out because I was like, I can't even believe how far I am from God. And like so many times when different things happen to me, or like I feel like even I'm on a high right now, like through Love Week, we did something, I always kind of remember like, no, like this is for you too. Like, look how far you've come from that girl that felt so broken, coming from no community, living by themselves in another part of the world, to like, I don't know, doing all these Love Week events is just an example. And it's like, I always want to remember that. Like, I want to remember that starting place. And that really helps me know, like, well, God's going to provide for me again. He can bring me through that. He can bring me through whatever else comes my way.
It's true. And Pastor kind of preached like a pre-sermon sermon yesterday, and he was talking about how these songs that we're singing when we're worshiping, things like promises or miracles, we need to remember that that's the soundtrack, but we need to put the movie in there.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
that's really putting the movie in there, like remembering what God's brought you through, what he's bringing you into, and just playing that back.
Yeah, and a really great way to do that, honestly, is through eGroup. So if you aren't plugged into an eGroup, there's a link coming up below. I encourage you to sign up for one. Community is so important. Having people to like talk about and share your experiences makes such a difference. My eGroup has helped me so much and helped me just grow. So I'd encourage you to sign up. We're having an eGroup Connect event this weekend. We have some new groups launching, so just check out our website. But we are so happy to have chatted with everybody today.
This was so fun.
So fun being able to do it in live time. So we'll be back every Monday at noon. We probably won't wear matching outfits every time. We'll get a little better with our coordination. I don't know, the orange notebooks though, I think the orange works. It's just Elevation. It's perfect. But thank you so much for being here. We love chatting. Can't wait to get to know all of you a little bit more, and just making this a space for all of us to share and just encourage each other on the lunch break. So have a great week.